Mumbai 3rd of June 2013. It was her sister's birthday coming, so she was going shopping for Jiah. Jiah had something in mind to give to her sister. Rabia, Jiah's mum, said she got home around 6:30 am. Asked Jiah, "What do you want to eat?" She said, "Nothing." The mum also said Kavita was arriving after midnight. Kavita said that they were constantly messaging each other. Rabia wanted to know who's picking Kavita at the airport. Jiah said, "Don't worry, I'm going to go, don't worry about it." Jiah's phone rang. Rabia don't know who was on the phone, but they went out after 9:15 am. Rabia goes to Anjua place and Jiah walks opposite because her friend Faizan lives right across the road. 9:27 Rabia sends a text message, "I love you," and she replies, "I love you too, mummy." Around 11 am Rabia told Anjua she had to go. She reaches her gate and walks towards her apartment, walks in, but all the lights are on, but leaving they shut the lights. Rabia opens up a room and finds that Jiah is dead. Police were called plus the doctor. Rabia mum friend Anjua said, "Your sister hanged herself." Karisha started crying. Kavita was in disbelief. Nishant Bollywood report received a call Jiah committed suicide. He knew that would be a big story. Ramchandra journalist and
in advance. She reveals has spent it on bills, food, silly material things, a haircut and phone to show off. After that, leaving £17 a day for a family of 3. Her health was affected. She cannot claim disability living allowance. Job Center Kamal says this situation is happening all the time. Most customers are coming back with problems about paying them back. The universal credit mechanism.
Nicola believes the case investigated compromised from those first critical minutes and hours after Jiah's death. Regardless of how it happens, you would expect an investigator to approach that scene as a crime, since Paul believes from that moment on that they made it was a suicide. Nicola says so many things were missed, and that includes the tracksuit being worn Jiah 25 minutes before she died. That tracksuit has never been seen again. Tom, Jiah's stepfather, saw the CCTV. What happened to their clothes she was wearing? Never been found. Kativa says she got to the police station to see her phone that had a password. She got to the police station and phone had no messages or pictures on it. They did not explain anything. Tom says there were no fingerprints on the phone. This case had been going on since 2013. Jiah's mum was once, and when her daughter told she wanted to be an actor, she got worried because she feels it's about luck and connections. She got her first contract at 16. Jiah had to make a lot of sacrifices to become the star she wanted to be. The father said, "To make your movie Amitabh Bachchan is like going to Hollywood and making your first movie with Tom Cruise." In 2012, Jiah met Suraj Pancholi when she was 24 and he was 22. He was a wannabe actor, according to the mum. Karisha said they knew the father, Aditya Pancholi. The parents were famous actors. Suraj always had a lot of female attention, according to Ishan. Sansoya's sister says he always showed her attention. Karisha was happy for her sister but did not think anything serious was going on. She was buried in June 2013. After the burial, Kavita was going through her cupboard trying to find anything she could. Inside a wallet in her side drawer she found this letter. She showed her mum and sister. They read it. They discovered things. It doesn't have Suraj's name in it, but they can tell it about him. For example, she said that he hurt me. Karisha said, "Let's give to the media and the police." Jiah believed that was not a suicide note, it was anger about Suraj. However, the police and people came up with the ideas of a suicide note. Nicola say this not a classic suicide note. It wasn't a date, or any specific in terms of Jiah's desire to kill herself. She talks about being embarrassed by him. Nicola says the police source who had revealed that Suraj ended his relationship with Jiah in the hours or days before her death, and that the bouquet of flowers sent was for a breakup. The CCTV Jiah had enough of the relationship, says Rabia, on the basis of it being a breakup because she had taken her own life. Suraj's statement has no mention of it being a breakup bouquet. Swapnil Rabia says the conversation the night between Jiah and Suraj, and that conversation happened through call, initially, then SMS, and also through BBM. These are critical pieces of, says Nicola. On the 10th of June 2013, police officers are surraging connection of Jiah's suicide. He was arrested in IPC section, which is abetment of suicide. Swapnil says abetting a suicide means pushing a person to do something which he other will not do, in this present case ending her life. Punishment for 10 years, if the police thinks it's him. Pull safe from the evidence that was shown to there was indication of foul play. It cannot be characterized as a suicide from the evidence there were injuries. Jason Pictures shows quite dramatically is the loop appearing at this oval mark. He does not know what caused it. Jason says at the back of her neck is the extension of the ligature marks going beyond, it appears, or certain up to the midline and of the neck at the back. Their lower width appears more horizontal and a higher one which disappears into the hair under the nape of the neck. With a wide material, the pressure on the neck is such that it will be dispersed, one would assume, so you would not expect to see defined ligature marks, because the effect, the resultant death, is caused by general pressure on the neck. There also marked that someone grabbed her left arm, type of graze that, although not diagnostic, is typical of the type of bruise we might see if your arm has been grabbed or grasped. Paul says all these things stand, it was not suicide.